What is the fastest you've ever quit a job? I was 18, experienced with kids, and honestly pretty confident. I had babysat for plenty of families, handled tantrums, bedtime battles, picky eaters, the usual chaos. So when this couple asked if I could watch their kids for the evening, I said yes. The pay was decent. They hinted it could become a regular weekly job, and I figured it would be easy money. But the second I stepped into their house, something felt wrong. Not messy wrong, not loud wrong, quiet wrong. The parents were tense in that rehearsed way people get when they are trying to sound normal. They kept describing their 10-year-old son carefully, choosing soft words, avoiding specifics, glancing at each other mid-sentence. They asked if I had experience with autistic children. I said I did not have much direct experience, but I was patient and comfortable with kids. They seemed relieved, gave me a few basic rules, and left fast. At first it was just strange. Then it became scary. The boy was not simply hyper or difficult. He moved through the house like a storm looking for something to break. He was rough, with the pets, an old dog, a cat, even pet rats. He shoved his little sister around like she was an obstacle, not a person. The girl was only 5, and every time he came near her, she flinched before he even touched her. That told me everything. I spent the next 2 hours in non-stop damage control mode, separating the kids. I was checking on the sister, redirecting him, hiding things he could throw, keeping the animals out of reach. I was smiling on the outside, but inside I was counting minutes. I kept telling myself, just get through the night. Stay calm. Keep everyone safe until they get home. Then came the moment everything snapped. He asked for a second soda. His parents had been very clear. 1 soda each, no exceptions. I stayed calm and said no. I offered water instead. He just stared at me. No yelling, no whining, no arguments. Just this flat, cold look that made the room feel smaller. Then he turned, walked into the kitchen, grabbed a steak knife, and ran at me. For a split second, my brain refused to process what I was seeing. He was 10 years old. 10. Then instinct took over. I threw my arm up, and the blade cut my forearm before I caught his wrist. Then we struggled for a few terrifying seconds, and I somehow twisted the knife free. My heart was hammering so hard I could hear blood in my ears. That was the moment I understood this was not babysitting anymore. This was an emergency. And the little sister was still in the house, so I did the only thing I could think of. I got him into a closet and locked the door. It sounds extreme, but in that moment, I had one job: stop him from hurting anyone else. He kicked the door, screamed, threatened me, and pounded from the inside while I stood there shaking, keeping my body against the frame and dialing the parents again and again. When they finally picked up, I was not polite. I told them to come home immediately. When they got there, I showed them the cut and told them exactly what happened. I told them they had put me, their daughter, and every animal in that house in danger by sending me in blind. Then I left, but I did not let it end there. I reported the incident to Child Protective Services because whatever was happening in that house was way beyond one bad night. That little girl needed help. The parents needed intervention, and someone had to say out loud what everyone there was pretending not to see. I never went back, and I still think about that night, not because it was the fastest I ever quit a job, but because it taught me something I will never forget. When people hide the truth to protect appearances, the most vulnerable people pay the price. That is why this is the strongest story in the script. It starts like a normal babysitting shift and ends like a survival story. And that is what makes it so watchable. Every line raises the stakes. First awkward, then unsettling, then dangerous, then unforgettable. You think it is a simple job quit story, but it turns into a shocking reveal about hidden chaos inside an ordinary home.